appeals under GST. That's it. 22 appeals under GST, page number 117. See, appeals under GST, again in this only this pre-deposit computation and interest on pre-deposit. So these are the only areas which are being asked, and some small questions or MCQs with respect to the time limits to make the appeal. So this is really an untapped area, but there is a potential of asking more number of questions in this. So we need to understand as to when there will be an appeal. So whenever an order has been passed, let it be assessment order, or let it be adjudication order, that is demand order, or let it be refund order. So there is an order that is passed. It can be assessment order or demand order or refund order. On that order, if the registered person is not satisfied, they can prefer an appeal. Even department can go for an appeal with respect to the order. Okay, so both registered person as well as department can prefer an appeal, and here we have adjudication and appeal. These are the two different terminologies which we need to understand. Adjudication refers to the process of deliberation between the registered person and the officer. So whenever there is some discrepancies that arises in the payment of taxes, so out of these deliberations or information exchange or communication between these two parties, the outcome of that will be known as adjudication order. The outcome of adjudication is known as adjudication order. There is another name for adjudication order, that is demand order, and yet another name is there, that is known as OIO, order in original. So that is about adjudication order. So who will be the adjudication authority? So commissioner is not an adjudication authority under GST. So we have additional or joint commissioner, assistant or deputy commissioner, and superintendent. So they will only be passing the orders related to this. Okay. And adjudication is a process that commences after issuance of show cause notice for passing demand order or adjudication order, usually termed as order in original. In this process, explanations are offered by the noticee either in written or in person by requesting a personal hearing. If noticee admits the amount in the notice, it can be so paid so that the proceeding shall be dropped. Okay. Suppose, okay, so this adjudication authority, if the noticee claims that accepts the amount during the adjudication stage itself, then there won't be any order. And who will be the officers empowered to pass the order? Additional joint, assistant or deputy superintendent. Even anti-profiteering authority is considered as an adjudication authority. On the order of anti-profiteering authority, can we go for an appeal? Yes, we can go for an appeal. Okay. Then appeal is redressal mechanism. So this redressal mechanism, we have 4 authorities for appeal. The first appeal is with appellate authority, first appellate authority, that is commissioner appeals and additional commissioner appeals. And the second appellate authority is tribunal, and tribunal is GST 80, GST appellate tribunal, and thereafter the next appellate authority beyond that is High Court and then Supreme Court. So this is the appeal hierarchy that we have. So first commissioner appeals or additional commissioner appeals, thereafter GST 80, thereafter High Court, and thereafter Supreme Court. Here we can skip High Court and directly go to Supreme Court if the issue pertains to place of supply, because as place of supply is a matter that concerns 2 different states. So due to that reason, so that appeal will be directly from GST 80 to Supreme Court. Okay. And in relation to all other items, so we can go to the High Court and then we can go to the Supreme Court. And remember, the final fact finding authority, if there is a question of fact, so question of law versus question of fact, if there is a question of fact, the final fact finding authority is GST 80. Okay. So GST 80 is the final fact finding authority. Final fact finding authority. Okay. So GST 80 is the final fact finding authority. And then GST 80 has got 2 benches, regional or national bench and state or area bench. Regional or national bench, national or regional bench, state or area bench. So whenever the issue pertains to place of supply, the appeal will be made to the national or regional bench. So the state or area bench will not undertake those activities. And from there, the further appeal lies with the Supreme Court from national or regional bench, because that matter or that issue is pertaining to place of supply. Okay. So that is this appeal. So after passing adjudication order, the person to whom the order is served, if not satisfied with the order, has right to go for an appeal to the higher authority to get an opportunity to explain as to why he is not satisfied with that order. That's what I told you, redressal mechanism. Even department also can prefer an appeal. The outcome of the appeal is known as appellate order or order in appeals. Okay, OIA. OIO refers to order, adjudication order, whereas OIA refers to appellate order. And appeal to High Court and Supreme Court are governed by the provisions of Civil Procedure Code. Okay, so court procedures. Whereas appeal up to this GST, AT, commissioner, etc. So this is completely governed under GST law only. Now, this is what I gave you for the matters relating to place of supply. After GST, AT, further appeal lies with Supreme Court, and GST, AT is divided into two benches, national or regional bench to hear place of supply issues, whereas state or area bench to hear other issues. Okay. Now, this can be asked as a question. One person has made an appeal related to place of supply, and further he wanted to file an appeal with High Court advice like that. So you need to comment on to this. Now, appeals under GST. So I am talking about the first appeal. So first appeal is with whom? So order has come. Once the adjudication order has come, and that order we will go for appeal to the appellate authority. We have first appellate authority to commissioner appeals and additional commissioner appeals. So easily you can understand. Suppose if the order is passed by, who are the officers empowered to pass the order? Who are the officers empowered to pass the order? So we have, additional or joint commissioner, then assistant commissioner or deputy commissioner, superintendent. Okay, superintendent. So definitely this is for adjudication. Definitely when additional or joint commissioner passes an order, you cannot go to the additional or joint commissioner appeals, because additional or joint commissioner appeals will be on the same line. So same hierarchy. So therefore, whenever additional or joint commissioner passes an order, so a level up should be filed as the appeal. So this is adjudication. Whereas appellate, we have commissioner appeals. Okay, commissioner appeals and additional or joint appeals, additional or joint commissioner appeals. So now concentrate, listen carefully. So whenever the appeal, that is whenever the order is passed by the additional or joint commissioner, the appeal lies with the commissioner appeals. So whenever ACDC or superintendent passes the order, the appeal lies with the additional or joint commissioner. So level up. So you cannot have it in the same level. So appeal. So that's why a little bit upper level. So we have commissioner appeals and additional or joint commissioner appeals. So whenever additional or joint commissioner passes an adjudication order, the appeal lies with the commissioner appeals. Whenever below the rank of additional or joint commissioner passes an order, that appeal lies with the additional or joint commissioner appeals. Okay. What is the time limit? With respect to assessee, it is within 3 months and it can be extended for a further period of 1 month. And with respect to department, within 6 months and it can be extended for a further period of 1 month. Okay. So this is the time limit with respect to appeals. So assessee and department within 3 months plus 1 month and within 6 months plus 1 month. So here, what is the departmental appeal? So why will they pass an order and why they will go for appeal against their own order? It is not them who will go for appeal. It is their superior who will go for appeal. That is the commissioner in the adjudication hierarchy, who is the head of adjudication. So above that, first of all, commissioner is not giving any order, is not passing any order. So the commissioner will supervise all the orders which are passed by their subordinates. And if the commissioner is of the opinion that a particular order is not correct, so in that case he will go for appeal to the commissioner appeals. So it is like review. So don't understand it like an appeal. So try to understand it like a review. Okay. So that will be given to the commissioner appeals, and the commissioner appeals will be having he will pass an order, either confirming whatever adjudication order or modifying that adjudication order. So in that case, the time limit will be 6 months and plus 1 month. What does it mean? Condonation of delay plus 1 month. Assessee also 3 months plus 1 month condonation of delay. This is the time limit. Whereas pre-deposit, that's a very important. So time limit is mainly important for MCQs, whereas pre-deposit. So what is the pre-deposit that they need to make? So whenever they are going for the first appeal, so if there is any admitted due, I am not necessarily telling that there should be admitted due. If there is any admitted due, the tax, respective interest and penalty should be paid. Suppose if there is no admitted due, then everything is disputed. If there is some admitted, so that is admitted and remaining will be disputed. With respect to the disputed, they can go for further appeal. Okay, so that further appeal, when they are going for the disputed, so whatever is a disputed tax, not the interest and penalty, only disputed tax 10% they need to pay, subject to a maximum of 25 crores. So this is under CGST. The same computation will be there under SGST. For example, if you take the disputed tax is somewhere 80 lakhs. So 80 lakhs into 10%. 80 lakhs into 10% will be 8 lakhs. 8 lakhs subject to maximum. Okay. So, sorry, not 10%. So 80 lakhs into 9% you take. 18% is the rate of GST. So 80 lakhs into 9%, that is 7,20,000 subject to maximum of 25 crores. Same 7,20,000 subject to a maximum of 25 crores under SGST. You understood or not? And 25 crores. Suppose if the tax liability is somewhere 50 crores, then also 25 crores we will not be doing. Okay. So somewhere if it is 500 crores, 500 crores into 500 crores into 9%. So that is what? 45 crores, but the maximum is 25 crores. So 25 crores of CGST, 25 crores of SGST. Please try to understand this 25 crores is only for the 10%. So it is not for the admitted due. Admitted due, why there is a limit? How much is your admitted due? You pay that. Okay. I don't know why they kept that much amount, 25 crores and all as maximum limit. And fee, you don't have to pay fee. Then what is pre-deposit? Pre-deposit is an advance that you are paying, and whenever you lose the case, that whatever you have already paid towards the 10%. So actually speaking, what is that extra that you are paying? Only 10% you are paying as extra. Admitted, anyhow you have to pay, you paid. Whereas disputed, only extra you are paying. If you win the case, that will be refunded. That pre-deposit will be refunded. If you lose the case, that pre-deposit will be adjusted against your liability. Okay. And there is no appeal fee. Whereas the time limit for disposal of appeal is 1 year, but this is not mandatory. It is recommendatory in nature, wherein within 1 year from the date on which they made an appeal, so the appeal should be disposed of. So these are the details pertaining to the first appeal here. And in case of second appeal lies with department. Okay, second appeal lies with GST 80. So in case of second appeal, from the first appeal, either department also can go for appeal. So it will be called as appeal only, not called as review. So either department can go for appeal or the registered person can go for appeal. So anywhere to the GST 80. Sir, when the department goes for appeal, then will the assessee be asked to pay the disputed amount raised by the department? No. There is no pre-deposit in case of appeal by department. Okay. So that is very important point. No pre-deposit. No pre-deposit. No pre-deposit. No pre-deposit in case of appeal by department. In case of appeal by department. Okay. So in that case, pre-deposit shall not arise. Pre-deposit shall arise only when appeal is filed by the registered person. Okay. Then second appeal is with GST 80 against whose order? Against the commissioner appeals. Against the commissioner appeals or additional commissioner appeals, we can go to GST 80. What is the time limit? 3 months plus 3 months. For department it is 6 months plus 3 months. Okay. For assessee 3 months plus 3 months, and for department it is 6 months plus 3 months. So this is the time limit for appeal. And pre-deposit, yes, they have to make a pre-deposit. So how much is a pre-deposit? In the second appeal, whatever is admitted due, that is the outcome of the first appeal. Based on that only we will go to the second appeal. So outcome of the first appeal, how much you have admitted based on that. Already you admitted something in the first appeal, forget about that, or already you paid. But whatever is the outcome of the first appeal, based on that you may admit some due, so that you pay that applicable tax, interest and penalty. And still if you have any dispute in the second appeal, in that disputed amount, disputed tax, you pay 20%. Already I paid, that I paid as disputed tax on the first appeal into 10%. Now whatever is the disputed tax in the second appeal into 20, extra 20. Not that already I paid 10, so extra I will pay 10. No, extra 20% I need to pay. Again, what is the extra amount that I am paying here? 20% of the disputed tax. But that is subject to maximum 50 crores. This is under CGST Act. The same will be applicable under SGST Act. Means this 50 crores will be doubled to 100 crores. whereas this 25 crores will be doubled to 50 crores. And here we have an appeal fee. Pre-deposit is for again making payment of advance kind of, and department is not required to pay any pre-deposit. And appeal fee is also not applicable for department. Okay, so this pre-deposit as well as appeal fee not applicable in case of department appeal. Not applicable in case of department appeal. Okay, next. So what is the appeal fee? 1000 rupees for every 1 lakh, subject to a maximum of 25,000 rupees. So what is the disputed amount? The disputed amount of tax you take, and the disputed amount of tax, or if only penalty is in dispute, that penalty that is in the order. So you are going for appeal. What is a dispute? So with respect to that, so fee will be 1000 rupees for every 1 lakh or part thereof, and the maximum appeal fee will be 25,000. This is for appeal to GST. And here also the time limit to dispose of the appeal is 1 year, and it is not mandatory, it is recommendatory in nature. Okay. Then third appeal. This third appeal is with High Court, or even Supreme Court also, if it is related to place of supply. Okay, if it is related to place of supply, directly we will skip the High Court and go to the Supreme Court. Now see here. So the third appeal is with High Court against the order of GST. But which bench of GST? State bench or area bench? What is the time limit within which we should go for appeal to High Court? 180 days and plus unlimited condonation of delay. So if there is sufficient reasons for not going for appeal, they can condone the delay. And pre-deposit as per CRPC, and fee as per pre-deposit and fee as per CPC, Civil Procedure Code. Fourth appeal, to whom we will be making the fourth appeal? So Supreme Court. So against when? So against the order of the GST. Order of the GST means either national bench or regional bench, or against the High Court order. Understood? And this appeal, whenever we are going to the Supreme Court, the fee, the pre-deposit, everything will be as per CPC only, because we don't have any provisions related to High Court and Supreme Court, pre-deposit, time limit, etc. And what are the matters for which you can go to Supreme Court? Question of law up to Supreme Court, and for question of fact up to GST, not even High Court. Is there any monetary limit restriction for filing an appeal? So with respect to assessee, okay, for assessee, GST, if the amount does not exceed, if the tax amount does not exceed 50,000, so then even if they file an appeal, GST may refuse to allow the appeal. So for example, Commissioner Appeals passed an order on which we are going for appeal to GST. The tax involved in that offence is only 50,000. The tax involved in that appeal is only 50,000 or less than 50,000. GST may refuse to admit the appeal. But if that involves a substantial question of law, even if the amount does not exceed 50,000, they may allow that appeal. Okay. Apart from that, there is no restriction with respect to the monetary limit. For department, like in income tax, so department cannot go for appeal if the amount it does not exceed this much, like that in income tax we have, but that is not there in GST. It is not yet notified in GST. And interest on refund of pre-deposit, actually there is a confusion as to whether it is 6% or 9%, because section 56 talks about the interest in case of pre-deposit at the rate of 9% if it is on account of order of the appellate authority. So whether it is 6% interest or 9% interest, there is no clarity with respect to this. Even in our ICS study material, they have just given the reference to section 56, interest 56 only, but they did not mention what is the rate of interest. But in one MTP question, somewhere they have taken 6%. So therefore, to avoid this confusion, what I am telling you is that for CA final exam, you take better 6% only. So let the dispute be there. Okay, 6% only you take. And you can write as a note that as per section 56, if the interest is, if the refund is granted on account of order of the appellate authority, then the rate of interest will be 9% per annum. That you write as a note. Okay. So for exam, you take 6% only. So not 9%, but 9% you write as a note. Okay. For exam, you take 6% per annum only, or 6% per annum only you take for exam. And here interestingly, that 6% per annum will be from the first date after the date of payment till the date of refund. So there is no application and all here. There is no application and all here, which means that 6% we will be getting as a interest. So from the date when we make a pre-deposit, from the first date after the date when we make pre-deposit till the date the pre-deposit is refunded to us, for that period interest is applicable. And there are some non-appealable orders. Non-appealable orders means, so there are some orders on which appeal cannot be filed. What is that? Transfer of proceedings from one officer to another officer. So whenever there is transfer of proceedings from one officer to another officer, I cannot say I like that officer only, so why are you passing an order for transfer of proceedings? No, you cannot go for appeal against that order. Or you cannot go for appeal against the order of seizure. Seizure order you cannot go for appeal, and prosecution order you cannot go for appeal, and order sanctioning payment in installments. So actually we can make payment of the demand or recovery amount in installments. So maximum 24 months installments, but they asked us to pay in 12 months. You cannot go for appeal against that order asking us to pay in 12 installments, because so these are all the orders which are non-appealable orders, which is very very important for short note. Okay. So this is about this non-appealable orders by the registered person to the appeal, and this can be asked as a short note question. The next area that we have is revisional authority under GST. We saw appeal. Then we saw review. What is review? Review is whenever the order is passed by the adjudication authority, their superior commissioner. So commissioner will go to the commissioner appeals for review. So that is at review. But that is also can be called as department appeal, but actually the correct terminology is review. Then what is this revision? So this revision is like a whistleblower mechanism. Already department passed an order. On that, registered person also is not going for appeal. Department also is not going for appeal. So these orders which are passed by the adjudication authority will be taken up by the revisional authority on their own motion, or based on the information that they have obtained that an officer has passed an erroneous order, or based on the request of the commissioner, they will take some adjudication orders for revision. And when they do revision, so I told you these are independent people. When they do revision, if they identify that the tax has been short paid or not paid, and the order is erroneous, which is prejudicial to the interest of the revenue, that can be recovered. And even suppose if excess amount is recovered from the registered person, so they can modify that. Or if the order is erroneous, they can annul that order. Okay. So not necessary that they will only recover, but they can modify or annul. Three things they can do. They can enhance, they can modify means reduce, or they can annul, cancel. So these are the three things that can be done by the revisional authority. Okay. So revision authority is appointed by the appointed for the purpose of revision of orders, and may on its own motion or upon information from the commissioner, or based on the information received by it, call for and examine record of any proceedings. If it considers that any decision that is passed is erroneous or insofar prejudicial to the interest of the revenue, or is illegal or improper, or has not taken into account certain material facts, then that order or decision, either enhancing, modifying, annulling the said decision or order, they can stay. So recovery will be halted because they need to either modify, annul or enhance due to that reason. And there are certain cases where revision is not possible. Again, this can be asked as a short note question, very important short note question, that is, in case where the order is subject to an appeal. So that is, I told you already, the main reason why revision authority will come into picture is that on that adjudication order, no one preferred an appeal. How come both are satisfied with that adjudication order? So therefore, if they go for appeal, anyhow appellate authority will be verifying that order. So due to that reason, revision authority will not touch. However, revision authority will take that order for revision on few grounds on which the appeal is not filed. For example, there are 4 cases, 4 transactions for which order is passed. We went on appeal with respect to 2 transactions. For remaining 2 transactions, we did not go for appeal. Now, revision authority can take up this order for revision with respect to the 2 transactions on which we did not go for appeal. But on the 2 transactions on which we went for appeal, they will not take up the order for revision. That is at A. B. Order has already taken up for revision. So already one order is there that has been taken up for revision, and again that order they will not revise, which means that one revision authority will not take the order of another revision authority for revision. Not possible. Okay, there are multiple revision authorities, but one revision authority will not take up the order of the another revision authority. Then order sought to be revised is a revisional order. That's what I told you. And order is taken up for revision, but it is dropped. Say for example, one revision authority has taken up the order for revision and they dropped it. So they are not doing any revision. So the another revision authority cannot come and take that order for revision. And then revision authority has taken up the order for revision and they revised it. Now again the revisional order, again another revision authority cannot revise. Not possible. Okay. So these are the three cases where revision is not possible. And time limit for taking the order for revision. So what is the time limit within which they need to pass the revisional order? Suppose if the appeal is filed. So then in that case, 1 year from the date of such appeal, 3 years from the date of adjudication, whichever is later, they need to pass the revisional order. So first appeal should come. So appeal 1 year from the date of appeal order, 3 years from the date of adjudication order, whichever is later. But sir, whenever we go for appeal, they cannot do the revision now. So with respect to few grounds, they can do revision now. So in that case it is. Normally, they can take up the order for revision. So after 6 months from the date of adjudication order and within 3 years from the date of adjudication order. Why after 6 months? Anyhow within that 6 months they can go for appeal or department can go for appeal na? Due to that reason. Okay. So after 6 months and within 3 years from the date of adjudication order. Why 3 years logic? Because if at all they wanted to collect tax, so they should have given the notice to enhance the tax and collect the tax. So that's the reason why 3 years is the time limit. And period to be excluded in computing the limitation of 3 years. So whenever stay has been granted with respect to that particular adjudication order revision. So if any stay has been granted, so in that case the period of stay, during that period of stay you cannot. So therefore that period of stay will be excluded for counting the 3 years time limit. Okay. So that is this stay period. And suppose on the same issue, similar issue in some other case is pending in the High Court or Supreme Court. So therefore the time for which it is spent between the tribunal and the High Court and High Court to Supreme Court, till the time that case has got a decision, similar issue has got some solution, until that point of time it will not be taken up for revision, which means that that period will be excluded while counting 3 years time limit. Time spent in appeal under similar issue in tribunal to High Court and High Court to Supreme Court. So these are the various points related to appeals under GSTR. Okay.